Welcome back, everybody. Tonight, we're back on Sunday night. I know we're here usually on Saturday, so thanks everyone for coming to the slightly off time. We have Mark Reid, the master debater, with it.
Thanks.
Anyone who knows Mark will know that he's in Australia, so getting time zones and stuff like that to match up, which is why it's slightly off on time and days and stuff today. But yeah, we're going to do something what we used to here. We're just going to have a chat with Mark. Maybe open it up later on as we go into it, and
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, just to chat with Mark, see what Mark's about, see where Mark's coming from, and how he got here and things like that. Me and Mark had a chat offline last night for a wee while. Mark was awful good; he was there, and we bantered back and forth. He got an opportunity to listen to me ramble, so now I'm going to make him do that publicly and ramble for everyone. So, Mark, just start off. Who are you? Where are you from? What's the crack?
Yeah. I'm Mark Reid. I arrived on the internet maybe about a year ago, maybe a little bit less. I kind of hung out in the fringes for a while, but I'm from Perth, so I really do apologize. It's a weird time zone. I'm completely offbeat. I'm usually up when everybody's asleep, and I'm asleep when everyone's up. But so how did I get here? Is a really weird question. The catalyst was. On modern day debate, Leo Filius didn't show up for a debate, and that's how I got started.
Right.
So a call went out for anyone that wanted to debate, and at the time I was trying to challenge myself to do things that made me uncomfortable. So I put my hand up and said yes, and that started it all off. So I went in against Nephilim 3, which was an experience for your first debate. You can imagine how that went. But yeah, it was a really good experience, and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoy talking with people. But basically, the reason why I was challenging myself is because I sort of, and I've made no bones about it. I really want to draw attention to my firm stance. My really firm stance is that autism is nothing to be ashamed of. I got diagnosed maybe a couple of years ago, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It is just neurologically divergent, which means your brain works slightly different than somebody who isn't on the spectrum, and that's okay. And I want to stand up for those people who are being vilified for simply thinking differently than other people, and that's a big thing. But the reason why I bring this up is because when I went through school, I got bullied a lot and was very, very isolated, very alone, really ostracized from everywhere because I just couldn't think like other people, did really badly in school, etc., etc. Upon being diagnosed and going back to university, I realized that I hadn't sort of dealt with this. There was a lot of issues there to do with sort of isolating myself away from people, being sort of at home on my computer, not talking with people, not interacting with people. I was, for all intents and purposes, pretty much reclusive. I didn't talk to people at all. I didn't go out at all. And going through sort of some, at about just before I was diagnosed with autism, both of my parents died. My mother died of breast cancer, and about a couple of months later, my dad died of a heart condition. So completely unrelated. They were separated. They weren't together. They were divorced. Yeah. Just one after another died. And that's when I went to see counseling, brought up a few issues. Then, I was diagnosed with autism. I was diagnosed with ADD, completely to my shock, because when you're 40 something and they go, oh, by the way, you're autistic, it's kind of like, what the hell? Yeah. Like, are you serious? And it's been a journey to get to this point of, hey, that's actually, it doesn't change who I am. I've always been that person, but to accept that is something that I am. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. As a part of sort of coming to terms with all of this stuff, I was looking for a way to do things that are outside of my comfort zone. So talking to people one-on-one was easier, but talking to a group is scary. Talking to a few hundred people on the internet was absolutely frightening for me, right? That was something that made
public speaking, yeah.
Right, exactly. So the whole idea of going out there and going, this is me. I'm here. I have these things. I am autistic. I do have ADD, but I'm here, and I'm just being myself, and you can accept me or not. Was one of the most frightening things for me at the time. So, in order to challenge myself, I went, I'm going to accept this debate. Just a fit of, sort of, I'm sick I'm sick of not being part of a community. I'm sick of being on the outside. I'm going to accept this debate and do it, and did it. Had a ton of fun, even though Nephilim Free is a crazy nightmare, as we all know. I did have a ton of fun. I do love talking with people. I love the whole logical exchange of ideas, and I like it when people challenge my ideas so I can think about them, or I can go, hey, why do I think this way? What am I thinking here? Is my thinking justified? Is what I think justified by what sort of rationality says? Is there a justification there, or do I think it just because I want to think it? Do I think it because it's practical to think it? I think all of these questions are really good. So yeah, that's how I got my start, and from there I just sort of took debates because I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed doing it. And probably a few months ago, I was basically pressured by Peter. Going to go for it, Peter.
Oh, Peter Tucker.
Yeah, Peter Tucker, and Atheist Junior also, sort of pressured me into making a channel. So they basically said, you've got to do this. You're doing really good debates, which I to be honest with you, I didn't know. I was sort of like, well, I'm just doing this, enjoying it, right? Right. I'm just doing these debates. I'm going on these shows. I'm going on Fraser's channel. I'm going on, Standing for Truth. I'm going on Modern Day Debate. I'm trying to line up things, and they're like, you should create a channel. I'm like, no, I'm just enjoying the debate. I'm just having fun, kind of thing. And they're like, no, you. And after pressure, I decided to create a channel, and it's been going really well. I've had a ton of fun. The community has been amazing, like just so such a wonderful community, the atheist community, which I didn't expect. I expected, hey, I'm going to be out here. I didn't expect the sort of really warm welcome and the really kindness of all these people that don't even know me. It's really wonderful. It is really wonderful. So I was really,
the community can be very accepting and stuff like that. That's probably why I didn't see you, because you'd have been hanging around on Nephilim Free, Standing for Truth, Modern Day Debates. This is why it's taken me so long to, like, I've seen you in the chat. I've seen you about stuff. I have to admit now, the first time I actually seen you debate was that debate with Jewell on that fucking channel. Couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, sure.
That was the first time I seen you debate. Wonderful job, absolutely fantastic. Jill still destroyed you. Sorry to say, but still destroyed you.
So he says, yes.
Yeah, I was focusing more on the debate style of the way they had it laid out. I was slightly wound up about that, but that's what caught my attention. Your approach.
That was Debate Cafe.
Yeah.
So Debate Cafe are trying to get started. The reason why I like them is they're doing formal debates, like not this, sort of YouTube. Don't get me wrong. I love the sort of, loosey goosey kind of, back and forth just on YouTube, and there's no sort of really, really constrained rules. But I do like it when there's constrained rules, because you have to be strategic about it. And the main reason I went on there is because they were saying, hey, we'll give feedback afterwards. And I was like, hey, I want to know what I could improve. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why I've done so well in debates, is because when I started, I was like, well, I'm not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect now. Don't get me wrong.
You're
I'm
Australian, so can't be.
I can't be. Yeah, I'm on the wrong side. I'm not. I'm standing the wrong way up for a start.
Technically,
I got it. Technically, I am, but it's because like when people go into this, and what I've noticed is the debate bro culture. It's kind of, I'm going to challenge you to a debate. If you don't accept, you're a coward, and you're this.
Debate me, bro. Yeah.
Oh, come on. There's a myriad of reasons people don't want to debate. And
Jill's still whinging about you. His most recent video, his description, if Jay was here, Jay'll back me up on this. He was mouthing about you in his most recent video in the description, going, still afraid to debate me on this, ran away,
Yeah.
won't speak to me
Yep.
again.
So that's the kind of culture. Well,
Yeah.
the reason why I won't debate Jill is because of the sheer amount of effort and time it took to set up one debate. And he was kind of really rude and obnoxious. It took 23 emails just from my side, right?
Yeah.
Going out to him, 23 to get that debate set up. And you know, he wanted to debate the setting up of the debate. It was a nightmare. He's difficult to deal with. He's not worth your time, just because he and this whole coming at you with, oh, I'm going to destroy you and stuff like that. It just doesn't appeal to me. It's just a. You can usually tell who's done badly in a debate by how much they beat their chest after it. You know, like. You know, somebody that's gone, oh, I destroyed him and stuff. It's like, if your arguments were good, you wouldn't have to say that. You would just say, hey, I presented my arguments. I think they were good arguments, and they stand on their own merits. You don't have to try. And this is what yeah, sorry, go ahead, MathPig.
No. It's just, that's the point. That's what I don't see about a debate. You know, I don't see that there is a winner in a debate, because the whole goal of a debate is for you to say something, for the other person to say something, and for the audience, in my opinion, to leave asking questions and wondering what side to pick. There is no defined winner in a debate. You can say someone put their arguments forth better, but you can't say that that's right or that's right.
Right. And I sort of take that position as well. I mean, Debate Cafe is a bit different because they do a scoring system based upon sheer debate skills. Like, so not who's right about the issue or who's wrong about the issue or who won the argument kind of thing, i.e. who presented the truthfulness, but your style, your rhetoric presentation, how well you've researched, things like that, just the nuts and bolts of it is what they sort of do scoring on. But it irks Jill no end that I scored higher than him. So he, you know, because somebody
that's
like
the
that.
Thing, man. I watched the end of that. I heard Jill's score. I didn't hear your score even mentioned.
I'm really?
Sure the stream either ended or I must have hit something, but I heard Jill's score and didn't hear yours.
No, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like I said, it's only sort of, you know, evaluating your actual nuts and bolts sort of strategy and you know, presentation skills.
Other than your as you've explained the story of how you came across the community, in your background, do you have any debating skills or no debating skills?
None.
Just falling into the debating community here online?
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, because I haven't done that many debates, right? I've only done like 17 or so, if that. 17? That's my entire entire debating experience. Yeah, like you look at T-Jump, who's done
watching this stream right now.
right. So you look at T-Jump, who's done, you know, hundreds and hundreds. He's done about 500 something. It's just ridiculous. I've done almost nothing, and I realize I'm just setting out. I have to learn different things, which is why I want the feedback and I want people to say, hey, you could have done this, because it's really important. What I do have, and this is so strange, because when my background is actually, I started off in something called directory assistance. The young kids these days wouldn't know what that is. It's when you ring up and you get numbers. Directory assistance.
Oh, right. Yes.
So you'd be on a headset on a computer and you'd look up the names of stuff. This was the days before everybody had smartphones, and you'd give them the number kind of thing. You'd shoot them the number. And then I moved into technical support for internet companies. So, you know, doing troubleshooting with people over the phone for their modem problems, router problems, stuff like that. Lodging faults with the provider kind of thing, you know, ISP stuff. And for some reason, I ended up in a business team dealing with business customers. And from there, I went into sort of a complaint space. I switched companies a couple of times, but I ended up in a complaint space. And the team that sort of I really thrived in was for the Australia's largest telecommunications provider, we used to sort through, or we did this stint of sorting through complaints, getting the very, very worst ones and calling them up and seeing if we could solve their issue. So I want to underscore the challenge of that work. It was people that had, I mean, imagine the worst case scenario you could ever imagine with your ISP and how mad you'd be, right? If the internet's out, right? And you ring them up and see what you can do for them, see how you can help them. And I found
Question
that to
one:
be
do they have a magnet beside their Wi-Fi router? That should be the first
that's
question.
probably a good question, but you want to find out, that's the Wi-Fi is actually the problem first. Because if
Oh,
they've got an
that's
Ethernet
a
cable,
joke to Dargan.
I know it's a joke, but you don't understand, like
Oh, I do.
this.
Yeah, I moved down into the living room with the studio, and I had a fucking ferrite, massive magnet like this size,
Yeah.
that thick, I got from work, sitting in the
Yeah.
top drawer, like 3 foot from my Wi-Fi, just going, I'm paying for 900 and I'm getting 70. What is wrong? For like a week.
Yeah. So what you'd probably find if you were doing troubleshooting on that is you'd find out where the packets, because something that disrupts like a magnet, it'll cause the packets to drop, and you can actually figure out where that is. Anyway, I'm going off tangent, but
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, been there. Yeah.
Yeah. You find out where the packet, because if the packet drop is up on the provider end, there's nothing you can do about it, right? But if it's in between your computer and the modem or the modem router, then it's got to be local, and then you can start from there. So isolating where it is probably a good idea to start off with. Anyway, but complaints, I have this really weirdly transferable skill, because it's conflict resolution I'm trained in, sort of crisis management I'm trained in. These are transferable skills to dealing with people in debate for some reason. I don't know why, they just are. So sort of keeping calm while somebody is exploding is a skill. It's trained. It's called, conflict resolution. That's a skill. Like, don't think that you're born with these. You have to be trained in this kind of stuff. You have to learn how to do it. Yeah. No. Yeah, it is a skill. It's not a talent. It's a skill, and it's a skill that I'm very familiar with. So I generally do very well. That debate against Ronnie Cameron that I had, where, I mean, by the end of it, I think his tactic was to make people angry. Because, I mean, I got a bit hot at one point, but I think T-Jump was to the point of threatening to beat the crap out of him. Like, he was that annoying. But I sort of had a change of paradigm when people get like insulting and angry during a debate. It's good for my side if people do that, because you can sort of point it out and say, hey, that's not an actual argument, you're just being insulting. But I think I've had a few change of paradigm when it comes to that. Like, people want to cut off a bad argument. They hear a bad argument, they're like, I want to cut that off. No, let them do it. They're only hurting themselves for making a bad argument. Go for it.
But that's the thing, they're generally not going to be that long, and interrupting them and back and forth, that'll take longer. And then you're arguing over words. Let them finish.
Yeah, sure.
And then just attack their, not attack them, but go against.
Oh no, attack their argument. Yeah, don't attack them personally, but attack their argument. If an argument has logical flaws, attack it. Like, really destroy it. People will be able to see the flaws if you point them out. But what you see and what the audience sees are two totally different things. So you've got to put that attack in motion. You've got to really spell out why they're going wrong. Or that I guess that's just what I do anyway. So.
Well, I would be a proponent of that. If anyone's been here, regular viewers will know. I'll always try and give everyone their opportunity. I hate this cutting people off and jumping into the middle. It really doesn't get anywhere. Excuse me, it just becomes a clusterfuck of noise. I personally, I don't know about yourself with the autism, but it's just a thing for me. If there's too much noise and everybody's shouting, like, I like my surround sound, and I have my sound system, but that's all good quality speakers and stuff like that. Yeah. Just loud noise, making noise. I can't take it. Even when my wee girl's running around like that, if she's done something wrong, TV's off, everything goes off, come here and talk to me. It's just too much now. You get nothing done.
Yeah, and I think that sort of there's been a couple of times when I've walked into university and something's been happening, like an event or a cook-off or some big thing, and it's just been like a wall of noise for me, and I've just gone, I'm going the other way. And that's those kind of chaotic events are, and it's just me. It's not anything that they're doing. They're perfectly fine kind of thing. It's just, I would rather avoid all of that stimulus kind of thing as I try to identify and listen to everything at once. I just go, no, it's just going to overload me.
Yeah, my wee girl loves going to them fucking places where it's like 100 toddlers all running around going crazy
Oh
and
yeah,
using
no, I
sweaters
couldn't.
and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's just like, oh, I really hate this.
Mm. But yeah, but it's been interesting. It's been something that I didn't expect, and it's been really wonderful. I've met some really wonderful people, um, some really amazing people like Bree and Atheist Junior and yourself. You know, it's just some real amazing people in this community, and I didn't realize how sort of close and supportive it was. It was really good to see. But I'm trying to build a very small community myself. I've got no idea what I'm doing. Honestly, I've got no idea. It's just I'm just doing what I seem to, what I gravitate towards, what I enjoy doing, and just going, well, if you want to see one man's weird trip through the internet and the debate community, come along. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just debating people on issues that I enjoy. That's it.
I think that's the most organic and natural thing you can do.
Yeah.
Atheist Junior does their thing and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
nearly every single video they're doing is Kent Hovind, right? So they're
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
able
That's
to
okay.
tap that audience in both
Hmm.
the Christians and the atheists who like to make fun of it. It's an already pre-established giant audience. So if you make fun of Kent Hovind, you're going to get
Hmm.
people to come and watch you. The same with Darth Dawkins, Asshole 104. That's a pre-established audience with lots of numbers on both sides. So if you
Yeah.
start doing content on that, you're going to get that. And it's not that it's unnatural or anything, but you be you, and the people who come watch you are more genuine. You're working harder. It takes more effort. But when you
Hmm.
do that, like I would say nearly every single person in that chat I have been on panel with, have a talk with, maybe not Carol. Most of the
Yeah.
people here, they're just friends that feel sorry for me. They're not audience members. They're just friends that feel sorry for me. I got to know these people, and that's where the community comes from. That's where the group comes from. You
Hmm.
know, you have 200 people who are just there because they like to make fun of Kent Hovind. They don't like you. They just like
Hmm.
making fun of Kent Hovind for talking shit.
Right. And I'd like people to, um, subscribe to me because they like what I've got to say, not because of what somebody else is saying that I'm making fun of.
Yes.
I would like to be a bit more than that, but not that there's anything wrong with that. I
No,
think
no,
that,
no, of course.
um,
Everyone to their own.
well, there's a place for, and I think I was saying this to you earlier. There's sort of a place for everybody in the atheist community, because we don't have this idea you've got to subscribe to these behaviors and these tenets and these doctrines, kind of thing. And I think we kind of do well because we get a whole wide array of people with different ideas and different viewpoints, and the free thinking crowd basically. Um, I kind of feel sorry for the Christians because you get this duplicated mindset all the time, this very, very rigid, you have to be like this and you have to think this way and you have to act like this. And it's kind of, I see it as really limiting. And I love that we have people that think so differently and do different things, have different styles. A lot of people don't like the aggressive style, and I'm like, well, I don't mind. It has its place.
I have a friend in real life that wouldn't watch any of this the odd time. He would watch some of it back and forth and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider the person to be a logical or a critical thinker, right?
Right.
And just
Yeah.
in a simple text conversation today, and I didn't realize I was doing it until he had said it back to me. But he's selling his car because he's having an awful lot of problems with it, and it's an Audi, And he was like, "I thought you liked my car." His car handles well, it definitely does, but it's a fucking Audi. Audi drivers and Audis are, they have a connotation with them similar to
I'm sorry, I don't know cars at all. That is one of the things that I have no idea about. So is that Audi cars?
Audi, yeah, Audi
Right.
cars,
I
Audi
don't know
drivers.
anything about them. I'm so sorry,
there's a
man.
context that goes with them. There's a context,
Okay. What's the
asshole
context?
drivers. But the point of the thing
Okay.
is, right? He said to me this back and forth, and he kept jumping in categories. He kept, well, these people drive Audis because everyone I talk to drives an Audi. Dude, you work in a hospital, so there's stature. You're going to drive a nice car. Trying to point
Right.
these things out to him, and he kept jumping in different categories. Every car I see in the road, every 2 of them is an Audi. That's a totally different thing about my opinion on what Audis are like and what people think of them. And at the end of this wee rant or whatever I was doing for a minute, he was like, dude, we're not organizing a fucking government. We're just talking about cars. I'm like, man, welcome to my brain. This is the way. When someone says to me something, you know, I'm going to question you on it. Like, you know, you said to me that you like, I know that you work in a hospital, so I'm going, you're telling me all the people at work drive Audis and they all love them. Of course they do. They're rich doctors. They're all pricks, just like Audi drivers. You know?
I so relate to that. That really resonates with me. I was once talking to this guy, and he said, "Oh, what do you think the best thing is? This one or this one kind of thing?" And I said, "Oh, well, this one's got all these advantages. This one's got all these disadvantages. You know, the other advantages are this and the other. But both of them can do all of this stuff, so they're both good. And both of them can't do this and this and this. So they're both." And he turned around and he said, "Do you realize you've just argued for one, then the other, then both, then neither?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, I just did do that, didn't I?" And I think that sums me up perfectly. You okay?
1 second. My audio, and I have full whack.
Your audio sounds fine to me, I think. I haven't heard a problem with it.
Yeah, everybody says we're very low, and I have OBS bouncing, and I have everything bouncing. Let me check, am I in the right fucking mic? I am on the right mic. I have no reason why it's not. I don't know. My mic is up full blast on the gain. Everything's turned up full. It usually doesn't even need to be this full. But anyway, yeah, we'll just continue. I do apologize why it's there. We may have to... I'll have to figure it out later. I don't know. Everything's fine on Darg's end. Both sound fine to Leo. Okay, right, we're just going to continue on. Just going to continue on talking. Okay, one person said it was bad, everyone else says it's fine.
Okay, it sounds fine to me, but you know, I don't have YouTube going for audio, so
we'll not worry about it.
Okay.
If anyone's
I'm sorry,
interested,
Peter.
if anyone's interested and wants to come in and question, and Mark's on the hot seat tonight. We have Mark for this wee while, so he's on the hot seat. So if anyone has any questions,
I am.
Anyone wants to jump on, let me know. Tag me in the chat. I'll post the link. Leo, Bree, Sammy, you know, it's good to get you, Sammy. It's very rare if you're free. You're also a mad Australian. But if anyone is interested, let me know. You can jump on in.
Yeah, on a hot seat like a shrimp on a barbie, right?
It was shrimp on the barbie. Yeah. By that, just from that, don't forget Mark's link is in the description. Mark is quite a bit louder than me. This is insane. Right.
Do I need to turn
No,
down?
you don't need to do anything. This is the last time I'm looking at the chat about my audio because it's distracting from the conversation and I'm now forgetting about it. So, Mark, are you planning with your channel to be uploading your debates that you do on other channels to your channel? Or are you planning on maybe hosting some debates on your own? What is the goal, direction, or have you any plans at all? You're just going to ramble through it.
I'm rambling at the moment. I probably should, you know, aim at a direction and get a bit more organized about what I'm doing. At the moment, I'm just sort of uploading whatever I do on other channels, you know, just saying, hey, do you mind if I mirror this? And then mirror it on my channel, which is fine. And doing sort of talks with people. I do like talking to people about where they're coming from. I did have that amazing conversation with Richard. It was so good. I mean, it's completely, you know, I think it's completely crazy, but he's a nice guy to talk to. He's a really nice guy.
That was my after party, and I went and joined another stream because you two were having a thing, and I was like, no, I'm not even going to get near that, and I went and joined.
It was the first conversation that was probably better because the second one got derailed because there was some person there. I think they were a Christian. They sort of derailed the conversation for a little bit, arguing over what sort of faith meant, kind of thing, and it was just sort of, you know, diversion. JG, yeah. So I don't know who that is, but it was sort of like, well, you know, because I'm talking about it in the context of what I'm talking about, I'm going to use my definition. Yeah. Like, you can't just say, hey, well, this is my definition of it, you use this. I get that there's multiple definitions of it. It's just when I'm using it, this is what I'm referring to. I don't know what I would refer to it if you've got a different, but you're saying, hey, that doesn't fit what you're saying. It's one of the definitions of faith. Like, deal with
just take it as I mean it. That is
something, right.
Yeah.
If you want to change the word in your head to whatever it is, because you didn't give me a clear, well, what could I call sort of belief with no justification kind of thing, So if you want to change it to whatever you want in your head, you go for it. But I will use the word that I'm familiar with, because this is what I mean by it. So that sort of got derailed a bit. But the first conversation was way better. It was interesting finding out sort of where he's coming from. And I think he got a bit ticked off the second time round. He was getting a bit frustrated and asked what sort of what my sort of asking if I had any sort of agenda or something. I can't remember the word he used, but he sort of thought that I was maybe trying to do something while there, and it was like, what would I be doing? I'm pointing out what I think is wrong with what you're saying. That's all. I don't have an agenda kind of thing. But he was getting pretty frustrated. So
it's having the conversations with Richard, very, very good, always fun and stuff. But one thing I have noticed is sometimes there is you can't get it through, and he takes things the wrong way, or I would take things the wrong way, and it comes across, to Richard in that it's just the way he makes connections,
Yeah, they're very subject to interpretation. They're very loose connections. I don't see necessarily the connect between, say, two of the things that he's putting together. The whole idea of sort of the planets of Jupiter and the David and Goliath thing. I don't see the connection there at all. It's
spent
kind of
years on that, man. Years.
Yeah.
And it's not worth arguing anymore. And it's not like, I don't know. I'm thinking that the next series we should do is the Jubilees. I've recently found out about the Jubilees, and I think that's quite interesting. It's the Genesis story. The Book of Jubilees. It's the Genesis story from the point of view of the angels.
Okay, and where does this originate from?
The Essenes. They were around the Jewish time when the Bible was, I think it's 150 BC. Book of Jubilee.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have made it into actual sort of scripture kind of thing.
No. It's actually, it is in the, if I can remember correctly, it's in the Ethiopian Bible.
Right. Okay. Right. So it's really far out there. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it would be along the lines of the Book of Enoch and stuff like that there, So I'm interested to read it because it's from the angel's point of view. It describes Genesis. It describes the Nephilim and things like that there, So I'm thinking of using that then for my next story with Richard, because I don't think that it would be something he has possibly read or come across, in mainstream. As you've never heard of it, I never heard of it before,
Right.
And I think getting a view that he hasn't read the book on before, something he doesn't know, because I find with talking to Richard, he makes claims about something that's not happening until like 3 verses later, but he's read it that many times, it's all one story to him. Like you watch a series of Stargate, you can't tell me what episode it is, you just know where it falls in the story.
Yeah, sure.
So it's the same sort of thing. So I'm thinking of going that route. And it's entertainment with Richard for me. We have our banter back and forth, and it's sort of like keeping your skills on toe, on top. And
he is entertaining though. He is very, very sincere, and that's amazing. And I guess I kind of feel a certain amount of empathy with him, because when I grew up, I was sort of, my mother was into astrology and crystals and what was it? Essential oils and what's that called? Aromatherapy kind of stuff. That kind of crap, right? And I've told this story on my channel. I've told it to Richard. That she used to feel really, really tired and sort of lethargic, like really lethargic, like couldn't get off the couch, lethargic kind of thing, like no energy. And she tried all of this crap, just this, I remember, and the thing that stands out from my sort of, childhood, early teenage memory is her crushing up scorpions because of Chinese medicine and putting it like with bark and, just this crap in this drink, and you mix it all up and you boil it kind of thing. And like it's an infusion and then you drink it and it's supposed to give you energy kind of thing. So just all this bullshit. And it like one of her friends who was luckily a bit more rational thinking was like, you've got to go see a doctor, see a specialist, don't, take note, get a second opinion, things that we would do in modern medicine, sort of to track down a problem. And as it turns out, she had celiac disease, right? Now, if you don't know what celiac disease is, it's an allergy to gluten. What happens is you have gluten, like the gluten in wheat or bread or, as a thickener and stuff, and it paralyzes the cilia in your digestive system. So they basically lie down and don't absorb any nutrients. So sort of that was the start of me going, hey, all of this is total crap. Like she's doing all of these different things and there was a good scientific reason why she felt lethargic. And it wasn't to do with the amount of scorpions in her diet. Like it wasn't to do with the stars not matching up or she didn't have the right crystals around her. That was total bullshit. That doesn't work. Astrology is bullshit. Oils and aromatherapy is bullshit. We don't have to turn to these
well, I think
ridiculous...
that probably Maori would disagree with you. I think smells and things like that can have an effect. General mainstream aromatherapy would be
yeah, so have an effect and change the act as medicine are two totally different things.
Well, no, that's good. You're defining your words. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now I understand.
yeah. But food will have more of an effect on you than smell, right? What you eat, basically. We know that. Diet can make you feel more energized, or without the right diet, you can feel down and depressed, kind of thing. We know that affects you.
Yeah, I've started taking vitamins every day just to make sure, like.
Yeah, and smells can affect your mood and things like that. But to act as a medicine to basically stop you from feeling tired when there's a medical that just the claims that they make don't add up to what it actually gives.
Oh no, I agree with you in that. Mainstream aromatherapy is probably just bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit. And
I was
that's
actually
not
going to say probably chalk ground up, but then I was going to sit down like Coke, and it was just no, don't even go there.
But, I think Coke will have more of an effect on you, to be honest.
Yeah, I know my brain goes weird places.
Yeah.
Do you know V57?
No, what's V57?
V57 wants to ask Mark, is abiogenesis a scientific hypothesis? Secondly, if yes, does it invoke special pleading? And lastly, rebuke the kalam without invoking special pleading. Sounds like they really don't like you.
Yeah, so okay, so first one is abiogenesis a hypothesis? Yes, we don't know exactly the way that it happened. It is the most likely explanation, but when a hypothesis graduates to a theory, it has to have a body of knowledge behind it that's kind of past falsifiability tests, and abiogenesis hasn't got that body of knowledge to make it into a theory. So yes, it's still a hypothesis. That doesn't mean it's not the most likely hypothesis. It doesn't mean that hypothesis is automatically false because it's not a theory. It just means there are a number of hypotheses to do with abiogenesis. So thermal vents is one. Panspermia is another. There's a whole bunch of them.
Leo's pointing out something. It's a field of study, not in itself. An exact way of it happening.
That's true, yeah. But I guess the way that I'm looking at it is like, well, each sort of question of, was it thermal vents, for instance? Did life arise from thermal vents? I presume that's what he's talking about as a hypothesis, right?
So does it one question about the origin. Do you feel
no? That was to do with the kalam.
No. The hypothesis. I think that was question 2.
Sorry.
They've asked it again and accused you of avoiding answering it. Does the hypothesis of abiogenesis invoke special pleading?
Does the hypothesis invoke special pleading? No. I'm not sure what would be special about. I don't know why it would invoke special pleading. So special pleading is a fallacy where you basically make a blanket statement and say something can't come from something except in this example. So I think he's trying to say life can't come from non-life except in this example. And no, it's not special pleading, because basically we're not saying that life can't come from non-life. That's the whole point. There is a law of biogenesis which says that life has to come from life, but that's in reference to refuting spontaneous generation from previous years, which thought that life arose from the ground and from this and from that. Biological laws aren't the same as mathematical laws. They're more descriptive than prescriptive. So no, it doesn't invoke special pleading. Nobody sort of says that life can't come from chemical reactions, kind of thing. That's the whole point. Abiogenesis says specifically that life can come from chemical reactions under certain conditions. There's no special pleading in that. Ask him to rebut the Kalam.
This is what I'm saying. I don't think this person likes you very much.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, that's his choice, or her choice, or their choice.
I think we have. You're going to have to, they're very specific, they're very vague in the words. We have never observed or demonstrated life coming from a lifeless soup of molecules. We have, done chemical reactions where the basic start-off point would and has.
So protein chains, yes.
Yeah, the basic starting building blocks of life. You can't put soup in a fucking washing machine and expect a dog to jump out, because that's just magic.
Yeah. So under certain conditions, we have observed these precursors to life, these protein chains forming. Now, the reason why it's not a theory is because we might have 50-something steps out of a 200-step process, right? We might have part of the steps, and we haven't completed how it all happened. But that's a better hypothesis and a much more likely hypothesis than a God you can't even explain. That's a complete mystery, that you have no clue how it happened, and you've got no way to check it, or you're just believing it on faith. I mean, at least we have the steps leading up to the formation of proteins, kind of thing. So as far as likelihood of explanations go, it's still better than yours. And I want to address the Kalam, because the original Kalam hasn't got God in the premises or the conclusion. How does it go? The Kalam basically says everything must have a cause. Everything that begins must have a cause. The universe begins, therefore the universe has a cause. That's the original Kalam, right? That's it. It just says the universe has a cause. That's the conclusion of the original Kalam. Then William Lane Craig gets hold of it and sort of adds all these things onto it, like, well, it's got to be timeless, it's got to be spaceless, it's got to be this, it's got to be that, with all of these weird justifications for that. So I don't know. The problem is, and the problem here is, if the universe didn't begin to exist, if time slowed down at the start of the universe and it was basically always here in one form or another, then that's your entire Kalam straight out the window, because it basically says that everything that began to exist has a cause. Well, if it didn't begin to exist, doesn't need a cause. Whoops. So yeah, that's not special pleading. And if it is, then God's special pleading, because your entire argument is, well, God didn't begin to exist, so he doesn't need a cause. So your entire argument, if you're saying, hey, the universe had to begin to exist, well, A, show that, and B, well, you have to show that that God didn't begin to exist too. So either way you look at it, the Kalam really falls down on that. Oh, is he still going on? Oh, yeah, he's still going on.
Although I think we might have got someone over from your chat. Who was it I said hello to just before, Paul? Local Machine. We love Mark.
Local Machine. Yeah, thanks, Local. That's awesome.
So there's some love out there for you.
I know. Well, Caterpillar, they were out there before, and Caterpillar is awesome. They're one of my favorite people on the internet. Just really supportive, really nice. Yeah,
well, that's
awesome
the good
person.
thing, right? You know, like there's people here in the chat who would be here from the start. You know, like Spooky, first person ever commented in any of my videos ever.
I think a few people could claim that, actually. I think there are a few people out there who would say that. Yeah, Spooky's amazing. I love Spooky.
Yeah, you know, and then you sort of have the overlap. As Bree pointed out, we do overlap in audiences. You know, I overlap with Ger, we overlap with Hive, I overlap with whenever Amber was doing her shows and stuff. We have a wider community, but you do get your own. You know, you get your own little group of people that you're close to and will follow you around and things like that. You've got your, you know, I would call them the pigsty. You know, the pigsty would turn up if I'm doing a show or anything like that, because they're people who would support you, and they're yours. You know, they're your wee fans, they're your wee friends. You know, and it's good to find that small, close group. It's nice to have 20 and 30 people, and we're all here to support. And you know, if your house burnt down, if we lived close, we'd come build. If we can't, we'll throw you a few pounds. You know. But it's nice to have that small group of people that you can rely on, that you can be yourself with, unfiltered, not needing the internet, sitting with your house coat on cold, you know, just chatting to them.
Yeah, I would love that. I mean, it's really frightening to me because sort of going through when I was younger and being sort of mercilessly bullied, like, I mean, you know, horrible stuff. It was very, very traumatizing. And you just get on with your life, right? You just go on with your life, and you don't realize this trauma has caused you a lot of problems over the years, especially becoming friends with people and relating to people, being yourself around people. Because if you get a punch in the face whenever you're yourself, you quickly learn don't be who you really are, be who will not get you a punch in the face kind of thing, right? That's where you'll end up at. So it is kind of frightening to sort of open up and say, hey, this is me and this is what I'm like, because of this old trauma, and you don't realize it still hangs around. It kind of, unless you deal with it and talk about it and sort of come to terms, it'll follow you for the rest of your life and sort of have an impact. It's very strange, but
it's like a certain thing. As people know, I've got Stools here now, and he's watched me from the background talk to the people like yourself and other things and stuff like that there. And he said to me the other night, he was like, it's strange for him because whenever he would do it or whatever like that, it's not like there's a wall up, it's not like there's a barrier up or anything like that. But I'm looking at a person on a screen. He says, you don't see a person on a screen, you see that person sitting opposite you. And it's getting to that stage, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you're trusting someone and you're close with someone, it is like, they're just sitting beside you. It's nice to have that friendship and nice to have that group of people that you can be yourself with. As much as this is all me and we're all true as best as we can be, it's still filtered a wee bit ever so slightly. Like, I speak slower when I'm streaming, for fuck's sake, so people can understand me, Just
sorry, I don't understand what you say.
Exactly.
You do have an accent. I hate to break it to you, MathPig. You do have an accent. No.
I've got mannerisms and possibly what do you call that? A dialect, but no accent. Listen to this guy. Sorry, Matthew, I gotta say this. What qualifications do you have to be so assuredly making these statements?
It's just it's just a I'm just saying what I think to be true, my knowledge on it, which I am claiming knowledge. I've read about this, so I have justification for thinking it's true. If it's not true, then no, I don't know about it. But I think that you're sort of saying, hey, you're gonna sort of cast doubt on it because I'm not a major expert. Just because I'm not an expert doesn't mean I'm wrong. And if you do have proof that I'm wrong, prove me wrong. I'm more than happy for somebody to sort of show that I'm wrong. But
see, this is the thing, right? Not to directly attack V57, but
yeah,
this is the thing that I would have a problem with from a person like that making these sort of statements, right? You must have either learnt it, seen it, or been there yourself. Okay. That's the sort of impression that I get from this person.
Sure.
The reason being that you're making a statement and saying, ATCG did this, abiogenesis, big words, scientific statements and shit like that. And this particular person doesn't know about that. This particular person has a limited education and they are ignorant on the topic except for what they have learned from their pastors who aren't scientific in any way. They're not their field.
Yeah.
So saying and making these statements, what would be the alternative, right? Ignoring the fact of what Mark's saying, right? And putting his faith in these people that make these statements. That's a correlation between faith and God. And you're trying to make that correlation so you can dismiss his because we say your idea of faith is stupid. But what's the alternative for us? Should we waste our days learning how cars work so I know every day when I get out my car's going to work? Should I, learn how to cook every day so I can, do these things? Should we have no time to ourselves?
Right.
What is the alternative for us except to take what these people say? Because these people have made the decision to spend every waking moment of their working life working on this, thinking about this, and dedicating years to it. What would our choices be then if we didn't?
And we all have specialities, right? So I'm sort of trained in internet, networking, distributed computer systems, and you cannot be an expert in everything. So I would expect somebody to hear what I've got to say in that field and trust me to be right on what I'm saying. That if I say, hey, MathPig, the best place to start is, if you've got a disrupted Wi-Fi is to, or a disrupted thing is to pin down where it is. Like, is it local? Is it upstream? And I was talking about that earlier. I would trust you to go, okay, well, Mark's trained in this. He knows what he's talking about. And we give the same trust to these other people. They're trained in that, they're a geneticist. They know what they're talking about.
Dargendorf in the chat is my computer man. I literally trust that guy enough to give him TeamViewer, and I sit back and he just fixes things for me because I know he knows what he's talking about.
Exactly.
We are experts in things.
Yeah, we have to allow people their specialities and it's a reciprocity that we trust them, that they are trained, educated, and in academia have been approved by that academic body, and they do the same for us. And it's sort of, and I get that's not a perfect system. I get that things slip through the cracks in science sometimes. I get that. It's not perfect. No one's claiming that it is, but it appears to be the best system we have by far.
Yeah,
and has been responsible for just about everything modern technologically that we use. Everything, like planes, phones, anything you can name. The whole idea that we just chuck that out of the window because you believe in a god, to us that sounds like utter madness.
I used to troll flat earthers live chats beyond the imaginary curve. If you know of Dale. He's a Scottish flat earther. He's got a hell of an accent. Yeah. That guy. I used to troll his chat, and people like gravity doesn't exist. Science and all this here scientism shit. And I'd be like, "Are you watching on a mobile phone?" I am. What's the difference? And I'd be like, "Right, turn your phone on its side." Okay. Did the screen get bigger? Are you now watching 16:9? There's a sensor in your phone that did that because it detected gravity. Shut the fuck up. Move on.
Yeah, it's not detecting density at all. It's
Question from Mark from Germania.
Okay.
What is the best argument for God, basically? What do you think is the best argument for God? Also, your biggest fan turned up. I see your biggest fan in the chat.
I think that probably fine tuning for me is probably the best argument they have. The whole idea. I mean, multiverse kind of blows it out of the water, but just assuming multiverse isn't true, probably fine tuning. But that's not even a great argument. I think if there was a good argument, I would probably say it. But that's probably the best. One
You
I've
think
heard.
fine tuning's the best? I can't think of one that's better than fine tuning because they're all shit. But fine
Yeah,
tuning's what you think's the best?
I think so. Yeah,
Look at the
I
trees
think
and
so.
my eyeball and all that shit.
No, it's more the sort of parameters that govern the forces of physics. If they were different, then the universe may not have formed or may have collapsed within, a nanosecond kind of thing, or, it's just all of these different things. I think that is the best argument they have. And don't get me wrong, it's a terrible argument.
Yeah.
Because we don't know for a start, the things in physics are constants kind of thing, like, gravity is a constant. So we don't know if that could have been different in any way. It may be that that's the only way it could have been for a start. Secondly, we don't, like multiverse, we don't know how many universes there has actually been. It might be they're constantly popping into existence. If that's the case, then having one like this is almost a certainty, or is a certainty, with the amount that would be popping in and out. So I think it's shit, but I think it's the best one they have. That's just me personally. I don't find it compelling, but if you compare it to, say, the Kalam that was mentioned earlier, the Kalam is freaking terrible. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely terrible. The Kalam is one of the worst arguments I've ever heard in my life. And stuff like the transcendental argument for God, tag, that is the worst argument. Like, it is so terrible, that basically says, hey, well, either, morality or reasoning depends on God to start off with. It's like, what are you doing?
If I can just address something in the chat, don't be calling each other names. Don't be rude to each other. You can disagree with each other, but don't call each other names. Don't be ignorant to each other. Don't be picking on the person. All right, pick on what they say. Disagree with what they say. Show yourself some evidence. Don't be ignorant and call each other names, even if it's like, just don't. And mods, if they continue it, you do your thing. Be respectful. Now they've got attention. Officially troll 1, panel 0.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't see the name calling, but I seen someone say there was name calling.
So. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's childish. It's just childish. Yeah. Like, look at the master debater that we have on screen here.
Come on. You're just calling me a masturbator. Let's be honest. Basically, you don't actually think that, do you? Yeah. No, I know. Look, I think I've done,
Technically, the only debate I seen that I watched with you in it was with Jill, and we already established that they destroyed you. So.
Okay, so I'm not at all. Look, I think that I'm new to the scene. I've got a lot to learn. I don't think I'm amazing. I think I just do my best. But I think I've done very well for somebody starting out. I think I've I pay attention. And that's the other skill that I got from working in a call center. I'm excellent at notes. I cannot stress enough how much notes have saved my ass during these debates. I cannot stress enough.
I have been starting to do lots of Post-its and sticking them in front of me.
Well, I mean, I've got my own thing. I use a notepad like a writing pad, right? So what I'll generally be doing is circling things, making arrows to things, like in a sort of visual representation.
I do that at work, right? I have not an A4 page, half of an A4. I have an A5 notepad at work. And because I run the store, if someone comes up to me, Robbie, I need this, I'd be like, don't tell me. I'll take them over to my desk and I'll write it down. Well, it's not a desk. It's 4 pallets on top of each other with a piece of wood. But it's my fucking corner. And I'd be like, that's where my notepad is. I write this shit down. Don't tell me, because I'll write it down. Now, at home, I can't do the notepad. I end up losing it because I don't write
Right.
down enough, which is why the post-its suit me better at home.
Hey, yeah,
You
everybody's
know,
got
so
their
there's
own
a
thing.
system to be
Yeah.
got. You know.
Yeah, I cannot stress note taking enough, and that's something that sort of working in complaints I've had. You have to take notes for the entire thing while you're talking and doing other stuff. So it's it's a skill that I learned. So none of this has been, oh, I'm just fantastic. No, it's all skills that I've learned that
Yeah.
for some reason have been transferable to what I'm doing now. It's
One of the
not.
boys told me in fitting out something he was looking, and he walked up from the other building about 3 hours later, and he was like, "Robbie, you forgot to get me that." I was like, "Did I write it down in my notepad?" No, you didn't have your notepad with you. Well, there you go. You know better than you should have.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not written down. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It's not. I write shit down so I don't have to remember.
Well, a lot of people will say, "Hey, I'll just talk to them in a debate and I'll just remember." No, you can't. There's no way. Like, there's too much information flying left, right, and center. You watch the really good debaters you see, like Matt Delahunty, even the Islamic ones like that Kenny guy. I think I saw him on Modern Debate the other day. They're all taking notes. They're all taking notes. Like, it isn't unusual. If you see the really good debaters, they will be doing notes. There's no question about it. They will be, because no matter how smart you are, no matter how good you are, you just can't keep up with that amount of information. And so if you want to debate, learn to take notes. Just as rough as you like, whatever makes sense to you. It doesn't have to be formalized. Just keep hold of those ideas on paper, because you can't keep track of them in the back and forth. It's just
We have one question from the chat that says, "When is your next debate?" And then we have Gurmania whinging for attention again, and they want to know what the worst argument for God is.
The worst argument for God. The worst argument for God. I think the presup God, that like defining God as sort of existing, is the worst argument I've ever heard. Like the definitional argument, where they basically say God is defined as this, and I'm looking right at that biblical guy right here. The worst argument is basically defining God as existing is the worst argument. It's freaking terrible. What was the other thing you asked me?
Gur wants to know what the worst argument. Oh, the other thing was, I don't know. I'm addressing Carol in the chat, where it says chat publicly in the bottom. Right now, underneath mine, it says chat publicly as MathPig when you go to type. You know, in the live box. I don't know if you see chat publicly as Mark Reid in yours, but I'm not sure, Carol, why you only see it here. But
I don't know.
You know, when you would type your thing in the live chat.
Oh, a Hive Science says MathPig and Mark put their shiny heads together to make butt cheeks. Well,
no, that would be a very pointy butt.
Hang on, which way am I? That way?
Oh, right, I go that way.
Yeah.
Keep going. No, I have to go really far. I have to.
Yeah, I know you're way more zoomed out.
I go this side, and then we can flip it. No, that doesn't work out.
Okay. Thanks, Brie. I love Brie. Brie's amazing, and she's got a new show coming up. I think I did want to mention that.
They have the new channel. Yes, premiered their first video tonight. Feel free to put the link in the chat, if you want to, Brie. It's based on animals and animals versus things, and it should be good. You still need a live channel, Brie, so you can do all your debates on
them. She went to Praise's room recently and did amazing, just amazing, just really good. I was really impressed, because I was kind of worried, because those guys can be incredibly bigoted towards people, but she was classy and polite and charming and just amazing. I really loved it, Brie. It was awesome, absolutely awesome. And I want people to, going into a situation like that, going into where 6 people all disagree with you and quite possibly hate you, and talking with them is a lot harder than it looks. It is incredibly hard. Like, don't think that it's a trivial thing.
Can't explain how over the moon. Like, just to mention, and shout it out again, we are having New Year's Eve party in St. Louis, in Missouri. the Friday and the Friday and the Saturday night. So the night, New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve, we've organised a tour to the museum. We've got T-shirts and all that crack. Luxury accommodation. It, not to be stereotyped or anything like that. It looks like Austin Powers' place. It's all zebra stripes on the wall and stuff and all funky. And it's 70 quid for a ticket. That includes your T-shirt. It includes food. It includes accommodation. All you have to do is get your ass to St. Louis and not be a creep. So if you're close to St. Louis, it's very rare that I'm going to be in America. Bree has confirmed. I have confirmed. Savage Minnow has confirmed. All going well. Richard will be there, and Beck, Uncle Beck will be there as well. And we're working on getting Sammy from Australia via Thailand. We're gonna go via Thailand to get the man. He may have to do 4 stops.
What are you gonna do in Thailand?
Well, he's gonna stop in Thailand and wait for a plane. What he does for that time while he waits for a plane.
I think Thailand, it's obligatory to do something illegal, illegal in other countries.
Well, as Sammy put it, if I go via Thailand, I can stop and get a blowy. Brilliant.
Oh dear.
I did say you confirmed, Brie. I did.
Awesome.
But that is happening. As I say, you get T-shirts. There's going to be food included. We've tried to include as much as everything we can for everybody to just be like, look, this is it. Free pickup to and from the airport as well, and or the train station. Savage said that she's willing to drive from where we are. It's not that far, so we can pick ups there and back. And, it's just people, all of us getting together that know each other. Leo, I hear that you're possibly maybe thinking, could be good to see Leo as well. So definitely, if you're up for this, if everyone's thinking about it, she's have nothing to do on New Year's Eve. What else have you got to do except bring in the new year with friends?
Well, I'm not going. It is too far for me, and I can't afford.
We'll put you in Sammy's suitcase. Meet up in Sydney.
All right.
We'll fold you in half.
That would be a big suitcase, dude. Like, seriously. I was talking to somebody about this, and I'm a lot taller than I appear on camera. I'm about 6'3", and weigh like a fair bit. So, 100, 110, 112 kilos. So. I'm not a small guy. I would not fit in a suitcase.
Well,
there's no way, but that's okay.
I bet you.
I appreciate it.
Just pay for the flight to Thailand. Once he gets to Thailand, he can chop you up and put you in a suitcase.
And that will probably be legal. Yeah. You know what always struck me as weird? Like if you pay somebody to have sex with you, and it's illegal in the US, right? If you just do it in whatever, it's illegal. But if you pay 2 people to have sex, film it, and put it up, that's perfectly legal. It's so weird.
I've been to Amsterdam 14 times, Now, I've never
been
for sex in my life, but, you do the obligatory walk down through the red light district. And,
same here. Yeah, I went with my wife down. We had to see the red light district, right? It's just one of those things, you're in Amsterdam. You have to go to a coffee shop, and you have to do the walk through the red light district. You just have to. Yeah. It was interesting. It was a lot of fun, like just a lot of people hanging around. Like most people weren't, going for sex. They were just hanging around having a good time.
It's a very safe place. There's a lot of police around. I don't know if you noticed that as well. There's a ton of police around. And yet at the same time, you've got your drug dealers walking around going, Charlie, you want some Charlie? Whispering in your ear as you're walking up and down the road. But you still, it's weird the way the alleyways get very narrow. I don't know if you went down some of the alleyways and shit. And by the end of it, you start walking like this. And by the end of it, you're like, trying to slide out like that there. I would watch my pockets for pickpocketers, but other than that, I didn't fear for my life or anything like that there, or
I thought
worried
it was
about
perfectly
being attacked
nice.
or anything.
Yeah, no, I thought it was perfectly nice place, and it was sort of it wasn't really seedy at all. It was just sort of a entertainment district in a city kind of thing that just happened to have people selling sex in the windows kind of thing.
Ger's trying to be an actual host tonight and come up with good questions. So he has another one. Do you prefer debating young earth creationism, theology, or philosophy when talking to a Christian?
I prefer philosophy. Young earth creationism, I mean, it's just, I don't particularly like theology. Like, to me, the arguments over, what does rapture mean and how you get saved, your soteriology kind of stuff. It's like people fighting over who's stronger, Superman or Goku, which is fine. I've got no problem with them doing it. It's just, if I'm not interested in Superman or Goku, I'm not going to have, I'm not going to be interested in that.
You should have said, Goku will always win. Dragon Ball Z for the win. Don't even make me get out my bright orange balls or my Dragon Ball Z wallet. Just you sit down and be quiet. Goku will always win.
No, well, in actual fact, I would take the third option, which would be Saitama from One Punch Man, would definitely win.
He's such a depressive man. I don't know.
No, he's not. What are you talking about?
I only watched the first wee bit. I only did watch the.
Oh, okay. I loved that anime. I adored it.
I took my wee girl to watch the new Dragon Ball Z movie in the cinema.
Okay.
In Japanese with subtitles.
Okay. That was for you. Let's face it.
She loves Dragon Ball Z. I've been watching the edited version. Dragon Ball Z with the shortened one. I can't remember the name of it right now because I'm all blah. But yeah, no, she knows the theme tune better than me. The only thing she likes more than Dragon Ball Z is fucking Pokemon.
Okay, I'm gonna make you sad. I've never watched Dragon Ball Z ever. I don't. It doesn't appeal to me. I sort of saw part of one episode and I was like, oh, this is terrible. I'm not watching this. It doesn't appeal to me.
I'll show you a wee scene after this when we go offline. You'll change your mind.
Okay.
Just blow your mind. It makes my hair stand on end. It's just so brilliantly shot. But yeah.
And you didn't like One Punch Man. Holy crap. Come on, dude. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I just no. It wasn't sort of. No, I can't explain it. I love Cowboy Bebop and Death Note and.
Cowboy Bebop was great. Yeah,
for some strange reason, I got really into Voltron, the new one on Netflix. I've watched that loads. I really like the characters and the humor. Yeah, the new Voltron on Netflix.
Did you see the live action of Cowboy Bebop?
No, don't even know.
Yeah.
No, the live action one.
It was okay. I didn't look out of all the if you've ever seen Full Metal Alchemist done in real life, that was terrible. The live action one was terrible. A lot of them are. It wasn't that bad. The Cowboy Bebop one wasn't that bad. Still wasn't the best. Still
I watched for the third time. No, I have watched this for the third time. Yeah, third. And there's 3 movies. It's a Godzilla movie. It's a Japanese. It's like an anime. It's Godzilla. It's on Netflix. But Godzilla takes over the Earth and they leave. They use light speed to leave. So when they come back, 10,000 years has passed. They try and defeat Godzilla. They've been helped with aliens. These aliens, there's a whole religious thing going on. It's 3 episodes or 3 movies long. Just type in Godzilla on Netflix, and if you see 3 animes. That are 3 movies long. It's very, very good. It's the animation style is very good, and the whole idea of the underscore of the religion versus there is atheists and science, in the thing, and they're trying to defeat Godzilla. Then there's a religious order that's trying to do. It's for the concept is very, very good.
Speaking of Netflix, did you see Arcane, the League of Legends?
No. I know of what you're talking about. I haven't seen it.
Oh, watch that. Yeah, that's good. There's
no
really
bot
good.
tonight. I haven't loaded the bot. Sorry.
So I'm not huge on League of Legends. I've played it. It's okay. But that anime series on called Arcane, League of Legends Arcane, is really freaking good. I mean really good.
This is the multiple series where there's different stories and stuff, isn't it?
No. I think you're thinking of Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh no! I like Love, Death, and Robots, but there's something like there's different shows that are under the same universe or in the same universe or something. Is it with that? I'm trying to remember. I generally don't know. I've just scrolled through Netflix.
No, I don't think so. This is the first sort of anime they've done. They've got sort of a background of doing these characters' backstories and things, but for the game, of course. But the character development for this was really, really good. Like, I mean, fantastic. So we were like, my wife Lynn and I were watching. We love these kind of shows. So we were watching the Dota. There was a Dota one, and that was average at best. It was pretty, and so I was kind of hesitant to watch this, and someone said, no, definitely watch it. And I tell you what, it is really good. Like, it was a bit of a roller coaster, actually. It was I cannot recommend that enough. It's a fantastic anime if you do like that. Art style is beautiful. Actually, the art style reminded me of the Spider-Man anime, the Miles Morales one.
It's like the sort of effect like this that I'm getting now.
Spider-Verse. Did you ever see Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Yeah. So the anime style's a bit like that. Not exactly the same, but that sort of style. It's really good. I really recommend it. Multiverse was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. No, thoroughly enjoyed that. Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, so give. I mean, I'll check out Godzilla, but do give the League of Legends Arcane a try. Even if you've never played the game, doesn't matter. The characters develop themselves. It doesn't matter if you don't play the game.
There's a scene in movie 3 where it's like religion versus science, and it basically boils down to what has more clout in the community. Where are they finding their strength from? Who is the most dynamic in the community? And you can lead by either, it's such a good movie. I can't even explain it. Such a good series of movies.
No, I'll check it out. That's assuming it is on Australian Netflix, because they are different.
That shit, man. VPN that shit.
Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. They've kind of like clamped down on that kind of thing. So
then I'll download it for you and put it in a Google Drive.
It's okay. Yeah.
Definitely worth a watch.
Okay. Well, Gur's got another question, because apparently Gur wants to do your job tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. He's just trying to outshine me because he's probably too late to stream and steal my viewers, so he's trying to just get the attention this way.
Well, they're good questions. I mean, let's not hassle Gur. They're good questions.
Hold on. No. I'm going to disagree with that. Let's hassle Gur. It's.
Okay, well, I think I don't know. I kind of hassle Gur, and then I feel really mean. I feel bad about it. I don't like to hassle Gur.
No, it's okay. His mum said it was fine.
Well, I don't take my moral standards from Gur's mum. I'm sorry, that's a mistake. And here I am hassling Gur and feeling bad. I'm so sorry, Gur. Anyway. What's he said? Is there one prominent Christian he wants to debate? Kent Hovind, William Lane Craig, etc. That's a good question. I mean, I've done Hovind 3 times. I have no wish to debate him again.
You've debated Kent Hovind 3 times.
Yeah, first one was on the Ark, and it was really weird too, because the Ark, it wasn't like, did the flood happen, right? It was specifically on the Ark itself, right? So I had to come up with reasons why the Ark couldn't have been built, couldn't have been supported by 8 people kind of thing, or the amount of people on there, why it would be unfeasible to have that amount of, just the Ark. It wasn't flood. So that was the first one. Second one was evolution. Third one was evolution. He won't debate on creationism, so his own worldview, young earth creationism. He won't debate on it. He rejected flatly evolution versus creationism. He's a very dishonest guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, and lazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that's true. He seems like it, but I just find
slides from the 80s, even though you've been told the difference and the problems with them.
Well, see, I'm not sure if that's lazy or just he doesn't have an original thought in his body. Like, this is the thing. Like, he got those slides from his mentor, kind of thing. This isn't his arguments. That's the thing you've got to remember. they're the person who he sort of mentored him when he was younger's arguments. So they're not even his own work. And that's what I noticed in my last evolution debate when I brought up ERVs. He used Donnie's talking points, which is weird. So, because you'd think that he would, you know, I just don't think he's an original thinker. I think he just regurgitates the same things that he was taught, which is, you know, what, 40 years later or something, is incredibly sad. It's you know, it's imagine using the same things that your sort of mentor taught you as arguments 40 years later, and you haven't got an original one. That's atrocious.
I think he's a joke, an absolute joke. But
yeah, so I wouldn't. But who would I debate? Who would I debate?
Yeah,
you know what? I wouldn't mind debating David Wood. I think that he's fascinating because he kind of has this. I was a psychopath, and then I found Jesus kind of thing, and it's like, I strongly suspect that you're still a psychopath. And he brings it up as sort of a bludgeon in a debate, but I'd love to know whether he's taking medication for it. That's what I'd love to know. And ordinarily I wouldn't ask somebody that. That's their business. But if he's going to use it as a talking point, I think that if he's going to use that as a talking point for, hey, Jesus cured me of my psychopathy, was medication involved? Is a fair question in that case. If you are using that publicly to say this is the reason why you should believe in Christ, I think it's fair to say, was anything else involved? So yeah, that would be interesting for me. I would like to have that conversation. But at the same time, I don't want to press somebody on their private health if they don't bring it up, kind of thing. William Lane Craig, I don't know. William Lane Craig is kind of on the outish.
I was going to ask you that. Would you debate him? Like?
Yeah, I'd debate him, but he won't debate anybody without a terminal degree. So you would have to have
everybody should just share this out. Just interrupt. Share it out and like it out. We're at 28. Let's get 30 viewers for Mark. And if everybody subscribes and 30 subscribers for Mark, that'd be worthwhile.
You know what? I realized I haven't liked it yet, so I probably should do that.
I don't care.
Look, I'm gonna like myself. Can I give half a like the one for me and zero for you?
You can give a like and then a dislike, and then you can like it again, and that
I think one cancels out the other, mate. I think one cancels out the other. William Lane Craig, I would love to talk to him about why he thinks that his current Pascal's wager was convincing, and that his sort of argument from practicality was convincing, because those are two terrible arguments as to why you should believe in God. Like the whole idea, what did he say? He said that if the bar to reach certainty as God is too high, or to reach belief is too high, then instead of sort of trying to find ways to overcome the bar, just lower the bar. That is like one of the worst. Like, I can't believe it was William Lane Craig who actually said that. It's a terrible methodology for actually determining what's true. But what he said is that he's got practical reasons for doing it. Like, it helps him in his life. So his aim might not to be believe in what is true, but rather believe in what is useful to him, which is incredible coming from such a prominent theist. It really did rock the sort of theology debating and discussion world with just how it's weird. It's weird to hear that coming from the master of the Kalam, basically. It's just weird.
According to Leo, he spoke to Alex O'Connor, Cosmic Skeptic, and Theoretical Bullshit. So he will possibly talk to people who don't have PhDs if they can show. I'm guessing, I don't know Theoretical Bullshit that well, but I know Cosmic Skeptic, and he presents himself very well. Just as you.
Yeah, but Cosmic Skeptic does have a degree in philosophy. He does. Maybe not a PhD, but he does have a degree. So when we're talking about a terminal degree, it might even be an undergraduate degree. He'll talk to you, but it has to sort of.
We can order you one offline. You've got Kent's number. Just email him.
Yeah, I don't. Who? Leo talked to Kent?
No,
would be
Leo
cool.
said that William Lee Craig talked to non-professionals. He talked to Alex O'Connor and Scott Clifton.
I'm not sure. I guess. Could Mark please debate Mr. Batman?
Oh
No.
God, no! Is that the same Mr. Batman I'm thinking of? No.
Yes. No, I've debated him before. It on Modern Day Debate.
And you're still alive. You didn't jump out of a cliff halfway through. That's shocking.
No, I did not. I think I did pretty well under the circumstance. I think I did pretty well. So if you want to check something like that out, John Rapp, it's on my channel. Unless you're talking about another debate against Mr. Batman, I think I'll pass. Like seriously.
Yeah, not worth it.
Holy crap.
Okay, the chat has degraded into armed penguins, and it is getting a wee bit late. I have to get up and go to work and stuff and all.
Okay.
It is Sunday. So Mark, the floor is yours. Is there anything you would like to share? Anything you would like to say? Anything you would like to promote?
Not really. I've got a debate coming up next month, but not really. No, I'm good.
What piece of advice that you would give to everybody in the audience, right? And we have Christians in the audience. We have multiple different belief systems in the audience. We flat earthers in the audience. One piece of advice, one way of living that you would give to everyone in the chat.
For what? Like, what do you mean? What kind of advice?
Like living life, what way to move forward, how to look at things.
Be kind to yourself. Sort of don't shame yourself for stuff. Be kind and nice to yourself, and sort of forgive yourself for making mistakes, because everybody does. That would probably be it.
It's good advice. It's good advice. I like that. Ger wants to know if you and Godless Girl are ever going to debate.
I emailed her, and I think I CC'd sort of Ger in. I didn't get a response, so I don't think.
I also host debates. You don't have to go to Ger's.
Well, I mean, I'll give you my email address. I'm more than I want to do more debates. I think my audience said, I did a poll on it. And my audience said that the debates is the thing they're after the most. As coincidentally, that's the thing I like doing the most. So I really want to do more. It's just the problem isn't. Well, the problem is finding the debate. For some reason, I don't know why, but they're so bad at emailing. They're terrible at emailing. I don't know why. It's this weird thing. Like, they don't know how to use reply all. They'll get into fights setting up the debate. It's really weird. But also finding, sort of people you can have a good debate against. Jill is nobody's idea of a good time. Nobody's.
I think Jill just needs to be friends with somebody. The last couple of times he's been on here, I've just freaked him out by how much, just be my friend, Jill. Just want to be my friend. I'll give you a hug, I think the man just needs a hug.
I don't know. I mean,
he just needs love too,
Yeah, but I think he's just going around trolling people at this point because it's kind of, he starts trolling them and then they don't take him seriously, and he goes, well, I'll just keep trolling him. It's like, well, if you want to be taken seriously, you've probably got to stop the trolling. I mean, funny that no one takes you seriously when you're not being serious. I don't know why that happens. Maybe it's just cause and effect, Jill, but
Nancy says it perfectly. That scene from the Jim Carrey movie where he's beating himself over the head. I'm kicking my own ass. Just be good to yourself.
What was that? Liar, liar? That was liar, liar, I think. Yeah.
Mark, I want to thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Oh, no,
I want to thank you very much for last night as well.
My pleasure.
In the chat, I have a wee spat of depression this weekend, and Mark was awful good to listen to my bullshit, and as two people who are more discovered.
Okay. Stop. That whole be kind to yourself when you start talking to that lot. Like the things that you talked about were perfectly valid, right? They were valid things that had happened. So when you start minimizing, like, it's just me, my bullshit, and me being this, that's what I mean. Like, be kind to yourself. You had some valid things going on, and I just listened and talked to you about them. There's no problem at all.
I appreciate it, man. And from that came tonight, where I got to pick on you and put you in the spot, and
absolutely,
I think it gave us an opportunity to we're not gonna. You can't come and live with me, but I'll buy you a pint now. We went from just a person in the chat.
Okay.
I'll buy you a pint.
Okay. So one of the ways I'm weird as an Australian, I don't drink beer, and that's a weird thing for an Australian to say. I don't. I'll have the occasional cider, so I'll come and have a cider with you, because I know that England has really good cider. I've been there
It's
before.
not even that. I'm not in England. I'm in Northern Ireland, and I'm in County Armagh. And if you look up County Armagh, Northern Ireland, apples, we are the apple county of Northern Ireland.
Oh, okay.
I can take you for a spin and take you past 15 orchards in about 20 minutes of where I live.
So I love apples. But unfortunately, the best apple in the world is called the Pink Lady. It comes from Western Australia. No, I'm serious. It is amazing. You do not know what you're missing.
Oh, so, I know. I've eaten Pink Ladies.
They are amazing. Amazing.
I recently, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, I don't know if you're on Twitter, I recently took some local cooking apples from here, and then made an American apple pie with the lace and all over the top and everything. But we got some good apples over here, man. We got I've like 10 apples locally just picked up off the ground and given out at work, because the guy's next door neighbor has so many of them. They're just sitting.
I'll hold you to it. Well, if you're still, I know that you're sort of looking at America at the moment, kind of thing. Obviously,
not looking, but definitely going. St. Louis,
definitely going.
New Year's Eve weekend, but booked and all.
Are you moving permanently or just?
Oh no, not moving permanently. No.
Right.
That it'll be living here, and that person will be coming here. We'd be.
Okay. Well, my wife's family lives Merseyside, so if ever I'm visiting Merseyside, I might hop over and
if there's a flight, man, and you time it right, you'll get here for 50 or 60 quid. That's It actually, would you believe it costs less for me to fly to Amsterdam than it does for me to fly to England? Would you? No joke.
For some reason, I would believe that. I don't know why. It's just the airlines and.
I was looking there in February, and if I time it and go for 4 days, I can fly to Amsterdam and back for £45 with a bag in my bag. 45 quid, fly to Amsterdam and back.
It's probably because of the Amsterdam flight's a larger plane, right? It's a lot.
Yeah. Rather than the English plane. An English flight's going to cost me 60 quid,
Yeah. I don't know if you wanted to open up the room, but, I'm happy with everything.
I've been poking people to open up the room for a while if people want to come in, but nobody's mentioned that they want to.
Okay.
I've tackled Gur to have an after party or whatever, but he says Mrs. Gurmania is making him dress up tonight, so...
Oof. Does scrub up well, Gur? I bet Gur scrubs up well. I bet he does.
You don't know. He could be, that guy from South Park on the computer.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. Never know.
Never shows his face because he's afraid. He's all scared.
Scared Gur.
Scared
Gur. Scared Gur.
Scared Gur.
No, Gur's a man. I really love Gur. He's a really. I love how cheeky he is. There's something about people that are cheeky that Australians love, because we're kind of cheeky ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll say
no, we appreciate that.
Yeah. I really appreciate Gur being cheeky, but it's been fantastic. Thank you so much, man. This was incredible.
No, I enjoyed this. I definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to come out and sort of just be yourself and say, hey, this is all the stuff in my life and this is how I got here. It's just really. Being able to share that, because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm a bit of a mystery and stuff. So I've been really lucky, and I feel really privileged to come on here and sort of share with your audience. So thank you so much.
You should be doing the after party, and then everybody should go to your channel.
Yeah, I've probably got some stuff to do in a little bit, so I can't really stay long. But I'll have a think about it. I don't know.
No, thank you very much, Mark, for this last couple of days. Thanks for last night. Thanks for this. It's been nice to get to
anytime.
It really has.
Look, anytime. If you need to talk to somebody, just hit me up. You got me on Discord. please.
Saturday nights, I usually start. I'll be moving mine to 10 on a Saturday because Skylar seems to be doing the 1 o'clock one now, and it's regular. Rather than overstepping someone else and streaming, I'm looking at the live chat when I do this, girl. I move my time an hour back so that I can have 3 hours, then Skylar have some, and we can move each other's audiences back and forth like nice people, like civilized adults, So I know it's 2 hours earlier than what we did do tonight, but if you're awake 2 hours early on a Sunday, that'll be my stream on a Saturday.
Probably not, but I'll be around. I'll be around, mate. You know I will be. So
definitely, I look forward to our future conversations and
absolutely.
Hopefully tomorrow my new glasses will arrive. My glasses are fucked and just make me look stupid as hell, but the new ones have been arrived at the dispatch. They will be here tomorrow going well. So other than that, I want to thank everybody who's turned up tonight. Carol,
thank you.
Sandy, Nancy, Paul, maybe Gur, even Ox and Leo, thanks everybody for
Leo. Thank you, Maya, for showing up. Thank you, Caterpillar. They showed up.
Don't forget about Bree.
Yeah. I said Bree.
I try, I don't know why my audio, people are mentioning the audio again. It was fine the other night. I don't know. I streamed to my gaming channel. It might have fucked things up. I'll have to tweak it. I don't know what's going on. It should be absolutely perfect.
Thanks. Also, GeoSam. I noticed him there. Purple rhymes with orange.
Yeah.
John Rapp. Thanks for showing up. Loved you asking stuff. You know what? I want to thank V57 for asking questions. Even though he's probably a theist trying to cause trouble. Good on you, mate. Good one.
No, I appreciate the theists coming by. I think my matrix. Well, we did a poll, right? Whatever matrix polls or whether YouTube's are no good because you can't actually put your belief system down in fucking YouTube. I think I sit around 80% atheist or non-denominational, non-theist, and about 20% Christian, which I think for the community, that we sort of fall upon, is quite good. I try to be around as many Christian channels, and it's not that I try to, I just appreciate conversations with people. Regios, I'm running Ryzen 5 3600 at the minute. I've bought myself some new Noctua thermal paste because it's been 3 years since it's been thermal pasted, and we may try to overclock it. But I did watch your trailer, Brie. I'm running a Ryzen 5 3600 from 2018. Wouldn't mind myself a 5800X 3D or a 7800X 3D, but I think I just need a cooler and a tweak. We'll see how things go. But that's tomorrow. I've got butane gas to clean all the smoke from the inside of my case from smoking for 3 years and not hoovering the inside of my computer.
Yeah, that's bad for electronics.
Yeah, because I recently splashed out and bought a fucking 3060. Now it's a second-hand 3060, but it's a decent enough one, and I want to start gaming and shit. But I'm just struggling at the minute.
With the prices of graphic cards, I don't blame you. I mean, holy crap, it's just ridiculous.
Oh no, I get very lucky. I got it for well under £400, and it's an Asus Tough Gaming 5 output. It's decent wee graphics card. But anyway, before we start talking fucking shit about tech again, thank you.
Yeah, you gotta go to bed. This is ridiculous. So thank you so much, everybody. Take care, be kind to yourselves and to everyone. It's been great. Thank you.
And don't forget, everybody, to think for yourselves. And is the outro not going to work? Oh, there we go. The outro's working.